Anybody doing business in Nigeria that doesn't think that politics is part and parcel of their success in doing business in Nigeria have no business doing business in Nigeria. A lot of people are angry that, oh, you're supporting Tinubu, he's a traitor, he's a this. What do you want me to do? What exactly do you want me to do? You want me to, join you and point the finger at the very person that can snap a finger and everything I've worked hard for is gone? Are you going to feed me after that? Are you going to take care of my children? Are you going to send my children to private school? Whether Nigeria gets better or doesn't get better, I'm perfectly okay. In fact, I'm banking on it not getting better. Your prayer is different from my prayer. I've come to the acceptance that I'm going to hell if it exists. I have no doubt about that. Because there are things that I do that warrant hellfire. One thing I have as a general rule in my company, if you make mistakes, if you make the mistake of saying, God will provide, I'll sack you instantly.
I remember one night in Brazil, and Brazil is not particularly cold, right? I think I had gone for the World Cup in about 10 years ago, the 2014 World Cup. And then at night, there's this particular night I just couldn't sleep. Well, it wasn't particularly cold. The World Cup is usually in the summer, but I just could not sleep. So you had to turn the AC to hot, the kind of hot where you're afraid you are going to burn the curtains.
Yeah.
And at a point I was getting up. There was so much cold coming in. I had to keep getting up to check the windows. But these windows are sealed.
Yeah.
So that's just the thing. If you're used to it, you're used to it.
Yeah, and if you're not,
you're not,
you're not. Yeah, I get your point.
Yeah.
No, because I what do you call it? This rainy season is a blessing for me. Because these heats.
I know. I know.
When it's hot in Nigeria, it's hot.
Yeah.
And it's not a joke. And I can't stay outside. I think it was yesterday. My car is broken down, so I had to borrow one of my friend's car, and that car, the AC is not working. I have to wind the window down, and so I was driving all through yesterday. The sweat on my face.
I can imagine.
That's when I realized, this life is.
You have a few foreign friends over at the very hottest periods of the year in Lagos, and you are worried for them, and you are sympathetically apologizing to them. We are worried, and they are like,
who has them to leave?
They are usually. Are you kidding? Are you for real? I love this.
Oh, they like it. They like
the warmth.
Well, yeah, obviously because they know coming from the cold, so it makes sense.
Certainly.
I don't like the warmth, so it's too hot.
Because now we know.
Yeah. That's good.
All right. Let's just
keep going.
Let's just go into this. Moreni Keji. A lovely name.
Thank you.
It's the name of my aunt.
The rest of it is Abidim
Tokumbo. AKA Keji Giwa.
AKA Keji Giwa, yes.
My brother. It's a pleasure to be sitting down with you and having
here.
this conversation. Guy, you are an unapologetic, unrepentant, and prolific entrepreneur.
Yeah, okay.
You were wondering where this was going.
I don't know if I should accept it or not. Let's see where it's going first.
But most especially you are a businessman with a clear vision, everything. And I've heard, or more like, yes, I've heard and seen and read you attribute your entrepreneurship spirit to your dad, the late Alhaji Morayo Abidin. I think he's also Oluwatoyin Giwa, who was a great man. For those who know his Wamco story and the whole. It's credited to be the man behind 3 Crowns Milk, the ingredients, everything. You want to say something?
I can't live up to his legacy. My own is just, I think I look at him and I say, great, let me try this one. Let me go this way, because the one thing I try, most important thing that he kept on telling me is a good name is more valuable than silver and gold. So what I try and do, no matter what, is not to taint that name, you know. And if there was one thing, a lot of people would tell you that, oh, I grew up loving my dad. My dad is amazing. I grew up hating my dad, from a very early age, because everything about him was all about discipline, value system, and doing this in this way and doing it in that way. I've told this story many times. He would take me for long walks and make me pick up all the nails on the floor. And I couldn't understand it, and it would make me do it over and over again. Any nail I see, pick it up. And then I think maybe do it for months. And one day he sat me down and said, and we will have big bags of these nails. And he asked me one day, why do I keep telling him to pick up the nails? And I said, because he wants to punish me, And he said, no. He says, because if you pick up that nail, it will stop somebody from being hurt. And you don't know if that nail might cause tetanus, whatever,
Yeah.
and that person will die. So being used to looking out for other people at an early age would force you to, even if you are selfish, you will consider the value other people can get while you are still being selfish, And all these things he did, I will never forget the day I was playing with all my friends were driving cars at 15, 16. No, sorry, 13, 14, 15, yeah. They're driving their dad's car, and, I'm already eyeing my dad's car, that maybe one day, because they will steal their dad's car and drive it and stuff. And I'm looking at my dad's car, I'm thinking, one day I'm going to take this car out. Like, we don't know how to drive. We just try it out, And one day I was just in the car, just started it. And he put his head through the window and said, what am I doing? And I said, nothing. He said, what, you think that car is yours? I said, no. He said, you think this house is yours? I said, no. He said, everything I have will never be yours. It belongs to your mother. The only thing I'm doing is empowering you with education and the knowledge and wisdom to get through life. And that man never lied. Now, but today, I am eternally grateful because a lot of people think that the reason I'm able to just say what's on my mind, regardless of how you feel about it, is either because I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth or whatever. No, it's a particular training, a particular discipline where tell the truth no matter what. Whether it hurts, say it as it is. Let people know you, for they won't like what it is that you are saying, but eventually the most valuable currency in the world is integrity, and it's far more valuable than cash itself. And once people can know you for telling the truth, even criminals are looking for people to trust. So you become an asset to both good and bad people, because in the end, everybody wants somebody to tell them the truth. And so I think that that's one thing I think my father has instilled in me, in terms of living up to his respect. I don't know about that because I'm different. I'm capitalist all through and through. I'm business, and I would like to say this right now. I think I think IQ wise, I probably got it from my dad, 100%. Business, entrepreneurship, I got it from my mother, 100%. My mother was running 4 or 5 businesses at the same time. There was a time when we were building our first house. Our mindset was that it was my dad that was doing everything. Only for me to get older and find out that while my dad took a loan on his salary and there was no money coming in to build the house, it was my mother that was covering the entire bills. And she would run a catering business. She always ran 3, 4 catering businesses, servicing multiple companies at the same time. While she's doing that, she's traveling to Austria to go and buy clothes to come and sell. She had all these, she was always doing something. So I think the entrepreneurial spirit came from my mom, and then the IQ came from my dad. And then because that guy is practically a genius, you know, and then the family values comes from both, you know, and I think that's what has produced what I am and what my sisters and all of us are.
I mean, it's a brilliant story. The mentoring, you know, sometimes you wonder parenting. There are positives to modern parenting, but then there are also negatives. The mentorship. Back in the day, fathers were hard.
Yeah, so
because you know they weren't going to play with the way they were going to raise you. I'm wondering, at home, how did mom counterbalance that?
I think there is one thing that my mom allowed my dad to be a man, to be a father, to be the leader. And I used to think my mom was amiable, because my mom, I would go and tell my mom something, hoping she won't tell my dad, and my dad would find out. And who else did I tell? It was my mom I told. So at one point, I started to, because it was almost as if they played me. So 1 minute, oh, my mom's the loving, caring one. The next minute, I'm telling her everything. The next, you know, my dad found out and I'm being disciplined. So I think it was a fantastic partnership in terms of bringing the children up and everybody knowing their place. You know, we saw our mom as the softer, loving, nurturing, and we saw our dad as the disciplinarian. You know, the person you don't mess with, and there's certain things you don't do, come what may. But one thing I did learn is, with all the discipline and the in those days we call it harshness, you know, there was always the empathy, emotional side. So I'll tell a quick story. From a very young age, I think hopefully we'll talk about education in Nigeria. I think one of the worst things that we have been cursed with in Nigeria is being taught to cram rather than think. And I believe that has played a major problem in society today, because we have nations of surface dwellers. We have more of a nation of surface dwellers, more than a nation of deep dive thinkers. And the reason why I say this is, in school, people couldn't understand me. And I've always been a problem child from a very young age. And I have always been a dreamer, very extremely creative. And if you don't put me in a position where I can excel or apply that creativity, something bad is going to happen. Now, so what do I mean by that? So I can tell you what I vividly remember. I remember something maybe I shouldn't say here. So, but I remember watching movies, and I don't know if you remember OGTV. The movies used to be at night.
Yes, so.
And from 10 o'clock or something like that. Yeah. And while my parents have gone to bed, I'll do Operation Night Break and move from the bedroom all the way to the living room. And then I'll watch movies all the way. Very low, exactly. You know what I'm talking about. And I'll watch the movies all the way to 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. Then they'll be wondering why I'm too tired, but I still have to go to school. Now, unfortunately, I internalized every single movie I watched, including armed robbery. Now, so I can very vividly remember when I was, they used to, at one point, our parents came to pick us late because obviously they were working and stuff like that. And so since I'm the only one left in school, I believe I broke into every single classroom. I believe I took every single pen and paper, every pen, because I remember what was found in my mother's drawer. And guess where I went to put it? In my mother's drawer. So my mom now went, when the pens kept on piling up, my mom now went to school and said, "Why are you giving my son all these pens and all these pencils and sharpeners. Then the teacher now said, "Hey, Beleo." Apparently they've sacked.
I can understand it's free education, but
Apparently they've sacked the cleaners, they've sacked the security. They thought it was those that were taking it. No, it was me that was taking everything. And they were like, whoa. So it was a shock to the system. Now, unfortunately, I got so used to it. I was playing out movies in my head, moving from one class to another, either going through the window, pick locking the doors and everything. So I gotten addicted to that thing. My dad beat me. At some point we've all stolen, so I don't know. Let me not say, because maybe not everybody is as evil as I was. Yeah, so but me, I was a thief in school. I used to steal. So
I think we all were, but to varying degrees.
yeah, mine was hardcore. Mine was super hardcore, So
Some of us stole sugar.
no, I
And
stole.
sweets.
No, I saw the value of money quickly, very, 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 very early. And I'm talking about what, 4-5 years of age. And I remember I used to take my mom's money in her purse, and obviously eventually they found out it was me. Then my dad beat me. Now, when it became apparent that this beating is not working, that was when my dad, and this always gets me emotional, and it was late at night, my dad just sat me down. And the man bawled out his eyes and explained to me what theft is, what I'm doing, and why it is wrong, blah, 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 blah. I never, ever stole a thing, ever in my life after that. It wasn't the beating that got me to stop. It was explaining to me and me seeing empathy and pain in my dad's eye. And so I never did that. Maybe about 5 years later, about maybe 10 years of age, my dad gave me my school fees to go and pay. Me being overly playful. I don't know what happened to that money. And then I called my dad maybe a month or later and said, school fees has not been paid. And I said, no, I gave it to my son. He said, don't worry, they've spent it. I said, no, not my son. I said, and me, I've already remembered. So I'm thinking, he's going to think. I said, no, not my son. And he said, no, sir, trust me. I said, listen, not my son. He said, KG, what happened to the money? And I was lost. He says, you see that face of him being lost? That's his overly playfulness. Trust me, he doesn't know where the money is. He's lost it. See that fate that day. And we got inside a car. My dad said, stop being too playful. You're overly playful. You're extremely intelligent, but you're too playful. And that's why you lost that money. See, you start to realize that there's a need to not withdraw the cane from the child, but there's also a need to speak to your child, to help your child understand who you are and who they are as a result of who you are. And more importantly, show that empathy, I don't know if it's coming down to the level of the child and letting them know that starting with the end in mind, this is where you are going to be. And if you're doing this, this is this part. If you're doing that, that's that part. And helping you to understand that. And then having faith in your child. So that's really, that like it resonates with me so much that you get to a point and you start to realize that everything that you are today, every decision you make, every value, every principle, everything you stand for has been shaped by this man. And you now start to realize that, and I keep telling you, I said, I'm totally different from him. Why? Because he said it with his own mouth. He said, I'm not interested in wealth. I'm not interested in XYZ. I've seen my dad receive hundreds of millions of naira to go and do a project. this man will carry that money and bring back change. By then, I was entering 15, 16, 17. I'm already understanding how Nigeria was. And I hated him for that. Why can't you just take some of it? Yeah? So that I have one house, my family house. That's all I want. I've given you guys, I've empowered you guys. And the only thing I want, and that's why this house will never be yours, is your mother's. This is the family house. And that's it. Because he comes from a polygamous home. All he wanted was to have his own family. So that puts you in a position where you start to realize that, wow, this man has set a bar. He has set a standard. And money is not his ambition. And good name is his ambition. Legacy is his ambition. So you hold on to that, you know. I'm a bit different. I've taken my mom's entrepreneurship. I'm a bit more of a catalyst. But guess what? I will make money. No doubt about it. But I've come to learn that one thing my dad instilled in me is no matter how much you're making, never cheat the next person. Be totally honest, be totally open, and make sure everybody's benefiting. Now, if I start a business and I'm going to make 3,000%, if I tell you that you are going to make 100%, I'll make sure you make that 100%. And I'll make my 3,000%. I hope you understand where I'm coming from.
Clearly.
Why? Because I've come to realize, which is the same thing my dad instilled in us, the only asset you have is a good name. And that good name is based on integrity. And integrity is the only currency that appreciates with time. So, I don't know if I even answered the question.
No, you did, and you did, and some. To be honest with you, those memories, they stay with us forever.
Yes, forever.
It's a privilege to remember them and to remember our parents for good and all of that, the good times, the bad times, and as you grow, understanding why they brought you up the way they did. After all, don't they say we are all a product of our experience?
Yes.
Let me ask you, at what stage of life did you leave home?
100% for sure was when I was 16. No, 15 going 16, I believe it was. More towards the end of my 16th birthday. And that was when we had just finished secondary school. And like I said, all my friends were driving their father's cars. And I can't drive any of my father's cars. I'm busy taking downfall and buses and stuff like that. And I was supposed to do this JAM, right?
Yes.
JAM exam thing. I was supposed to do that, preparing for that. And I'm already going, the extra lessons, the after school things. I've built new friends. I'm a very happy person with my life. I've finally gotten a girlfriend. A lot of people had girlfriends before 16. I succeeded at that period. I'm about to start exploring life, and then my dad shows up and tells me that I'm traveling. Traveling where? Are you going to the UK? How? He didn't even tell me about it. Didn't discuss it with me. And he said, it's time for you to leave. 16 years of age, 2 days notice. I can't say goodbye to my friends.
Wow.
I've packed my bags. And guess what? He didn't come with me. He sent me. So imagine me entering the UK. I left there when I was about 2 o'clock, 2 years of age, because I did my nursery school in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So I lived there when I was about 2 years of age. So I don't really remember much. I'm now entering into somewhere I don't recognize at 16 years of age. And I was going to live with my uncle and auntie. And that was an experience, because as much as I didn't want to leave my friends, I was also excited about entering a new world that I've never known. And that one is a different. I mean, there's a lot that happened there, and if you want, we can explore that. Yeah, that's it.
I clearly won. You ended up in Kingston University.
Yes.
You studied computer science. We talked about education briefly. So I can't wait to hear what your mind, your experience.
Yes.
Schooling, the good, the bad, the ugly, all the in-betweens.
Yes.
And of course, the general comparison with education.
Yes, definitely.
So what was your journey like when you got there? You stayed with your auntie. Kingston University is in
sorry.
It's in
Yes,
Surrey.
yeah, Kingston.
Now, so what was it like for you? A totally different reality.
Yeah, I didn't go straight to university. I went to sixth form.
Sixth form first.
So I was Abadasha's Ask. And it's one of the best schools then. I'm not sure about now. And when I say I'm not sure about now, it's because I haven't got any information. It's been such a long time ago. But I went to Abadasha's Ask, and it was very, very difficult for me. You know, I experienced racism for the first time. And that racism wasn't experienced by the Caucasian white man. It was experienced by Jamo, Jamaicans. And they used to call me Kunta Kunte, you know, and then obviously try and fake up the Niger accent, you know, which what they weren't very successful at. Do the monkey sounds and stuff like that. And I had to learn very, very quickly what sarcasm means. Sarcasm is a form of humor in the UK. Now, at a very young age, you are getting offended about people being sarcastic. You don't even understand what it is. And so I also had to learn that you can't use your fist to solve a problem compared to... Unlike here. You know, so you're going to have to use your brain to be able to respond in a better way. And yeah, I adjusted pretty quickly, but I also struggled academically. I can't understand what the teacher is saying. It's like a foreign language, even though he's speaking English. And I did further maths, biology, and physics. I did 4 A-levels. I'll confess right here and there. I was kicked out of maths class because I couldn't. I'll never forget the day. Everybody in that maths class was A. So you have a target. That's why it's a very good school. Everyone was A, minimum was B. And I kept on failing the test they were giving. So on the last, I think the guy told me, he said, look, I'm going to give you another chance. You have to get this right. And I did try my best. I did learn. I even hung around other smarter people to know what's going on. Everybody tried to teach me. I was one of my friends, Ikenna, he's still very close today. Andrew, still very close today. They all sat down and helped me too. These are very smart academic guys. And they all helped me. And I did the exam, and because I was getting 20%, 30%, 20%, 30%. And the cutoff mark for this one was, at least even if I got a C, yeah, they might consider me. And my cutoff mark was 40, I think it was 43. It was a D. So when I got it, you know, the guy gave the results, and we all looked at it. And me, I jumped up excited. I was celebrating. Like, oh my God, I did well. And the guy, I remember, the teacher looked at me and said, why are you happy? You failed. I said, no, I didn't. I said, I went from 20-something to 40-something. He said, but you're going to get kicked out of the maths class. It doesn't matter. What matters is I can see the difference. That enthusiasm, that excitement, that one I don't know where it came from. But I think that's... I don't. It was not the word is not motivation. Having a brighter outlook on life. You know, I was kicked out of that maths class. Then physics, the guy said, "Look, the guy is sharp. I think he's just finding it hard to adjust." Yeah, but they said, "Well, there are other people from Nigeria that are adjusting." So you now start to feel really stupid. I got D for my A-levels physics. I got D for my physics and economics, and I thought I was going to do well in economics. I did D. I got kicked out of the other, so I left with 2 A-levels. or D. I'm a D guy. Do you get my point? Yeah. So all my friends are going to all these top universities, Brunel University, Cambridge, and all these top universities. And me, I'm hoping that somebody will take me. Praise God. Kingston University takes D students, you know? And so I ended up in Kingston University, which was interesting for me. Because you have finished A levels with Coventry University is what took me first.
Okay.
But in those days, you have to have been in the country for minimum of 3 or 2 years, I can't remember, before you get free education. So if I was going to go to university at that time, I had to pay for it. And so my parents, all of us decided that I would take a year off and wait
to clock.
go. Yes. And then I worked for my uncle for 1 year. My uncle then was the only Nigerian running a business, accountancy business. And that man made me I hate accounting with a passion. Now imagine hating something and you're made to do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then on Saturday, Sunday, I had to go to follow my auntie to the market, Billingsgate Market, to buy fish and everything and cook. I used to be in the kitchen with her all day. And then repeat Monday to Saturday for 1 year. Then he also ran a real estate company on the side. Yeah. So I had to master everything to do real estate in the UK as well. That 1 year was the worst experience of my life, but the best experience in terms of empowering me. I entered university with £5,000 of my own money that I had made. Because he was saving my money, you know. And my uncle made a big difference. He and my dad were practically brothers. They grew up together. And he made, and my auntie as well, both of them, Mr. and Mrs. Shikoni, made a huge difference in my life. They shaped me into being a man of accountability, of responsibility, and finding a way where there seems to be no way. Somebody who is willing to do what it takes to get things done. And if that means doing something that other people will laugh at you for, you do it. Why? Do you know what it means for all your friends to be in university and you are working in Deptford? I hope it makes sense. For 1 year. And I can't go anywhere. I couldn't go out. When I entered university, my uncle gave me 5,000. He took me to university, he gave me the £5,000. And he said, see this uni that you're starting. At that point, I couldn't go to Coventry again. So I chose Kingston. That's when I chose Kingston.
You must be like 19 at this time or something.
Yes, about 19. And my uncle says to me, he says, see this university that you're starting now? Some people are going to die before you finish. A lot of people are not going to finish. A lot of people are going to end up in jail. Some people are going to do drugs. I'm not saying don't enjoy yourself. In fact, go and enjoy yourself. But remember your father's name. And do not disgrace me, who your father trusted me to bring up. Can you see where that name is coming again? And so, yes, I started my first year in university. And to God who made me, the first set of guys I met were smoking weed 24/7. In fact, the room used to smell of weed 24/7. And it was always, there was a phrase, puff, puff, give, or puff, pass, give. So you take it, you pass it, you take it, you pass it. Now, I know the kind of father I have, yeah, but I also want to feel among. So what would I do? I will take, I will never inhale, I'll push it out, and I'll pass it around. Then because I noticed that people were behaving in a particular way, I started also pretending as if I was high. But the problem is that when you are not high, you shall do it in a way that other people would think that this is not normal. I think it was about maybe 6-7 months into university. They had already come to the conclusion that this guy is lying. So they I think they put time and, the kitchen stuff, rolled it up and then gave it to me. I said, Keji, you did this. I was like, oh. And then they were sitting there looking. That's how I started pretending. And then you know how
It's
I
not
didn't
correct.
I didn't know. All I heard was I knew it. I knew it. Can you see? Can you see? So everyone was like, yeah. That was when I realized that they have caught me. Do you know what? So there is what you do because you want to feel among, but you remember where you come from. And so studying was very important to me. I learned very early while in university that I need to find the people that are super smart and hang around with them. And I made sure that I did that. I started hitting my straight A's in university, not in college. And that was because I'd found my way of learning. And my way of learning is I have a very low attention span. I can't pay attention for something for too long. But now I have the freedom to learn my own way. So what I would do, I can watch a movie for 1 hour, study for 10 minutes, watch a movie for 1 hour, study for 10 minutes, gather people around, cook, and say, okay, let's do this together. As long as I'm enjoying what I'm doing, it stays. As long as it's play, it stays. But if I have to study it like hardcore, it goes. So I learned through playing. I learned through role play. And I was able to hit the straight A's all the way. So I think I was very angry. I was 2 A's away from a first class. I ended up with a 2-1. That really, really hurt me. But at least I did well. So I started as a D A-level student and ended up with a 2-1 university degree.
Good Lord, you're
Yeah.
a book. This
So-
one. It's beautiful. I think this gives us an opportunity to look at education. Your thoughts about education in this country, Nigeria?
Now this is close to heart. I took my daughter out of a school because they were forcing her to cram. I think there's an old saying that if you have a son, most likely takes traits from the mom. If you have a daughter, most likely takes traits from the dad. My daughter is me. Thick and true. I fear the female version of me. And if you ask me, I don't know how to be a dad to me. I don't know if that makes sense. Especially a female version of me. And my daughter is extremely sharp and extremely smart. Now, everybody would say that about their child. But I have observed, I remember when we had a nanny, and the nanny used to kind of pinch her and what do you call it? She would just notice that my daughter that's constantly playful is always sleeping early. What's going on? This is not normal. Well, I felt, our daughter has become a good girl. And there's something wrong here, And so one day, while I always open my, hey, where she's sleeping. So one day I just opened the door. Once again, she's sleeping. I just entered, looked properly. Just looked at my daughter. You know what she was doing? She was pretending to sleep. Then she opened her eyes small. Yeah? When she opened her eyes small, and she said, hey, Daddy! She just jumped on me. And then I observed it 1, 2, 3 times. I realized that my daughter had mastered the art to pretend to this woman. But once Daddy is around, she knows what to do. So I'm now like, okay, this girl has some of her father's traits, which is good. Now, she goes to this school. I don't want to mention the school. And the curriculum is cramming. There is no why you should learn it this way, why you should do this, the how, the when, it's just cram. And unfortunately, I have a problem with that. I can't do it. I learn through play. My daughter learns through play as well. And so I see them teaching her at home. I see them getting frustrated with her not being able to pick things up. But it's understandable because the people teaching at home studied in Nigeria. So they assume that is normal. And they're now kind of looking at my daughter as if she's stupid. No, she's not stupid. She just doesn't learn in the way you're trying to force her to learn. So I remember picking her up and saying, let's do this. So we started playing. to get I teach her through play. I ask her questions. I want her to think about it. I want her to understand it. And I keep telling her, you're a Giwa. Giwas thinks. Giwas are thinkers. Giwas create, giving that a sense of ownership. And then playing with the homework and she getting it done. And that's it. And I say, please don't shout at my daughter again. Yeah? You either learn how to teach her or you don't teach her. And so I took her out of that school straight up, and I found a different school. At this point, we found Abraham Lincoln Academy. And my goodness, obviously the way they learn is totally different. It's through play, and I remember the mom telling me that they're not going through the curriculum, everything. All they're doing is playing. Nah, they are learning, because children learn through play. And in fact, whatever you're teaching them stays with them. And so my daughter is excelling. My daughter is sharp. My daughter is fast. And then I think it was last year, decided that, okay, it's time for you to go and meet my sisters. My sister is in Canada. My other sister is in the UK. They all came to the UK to spend time. So I took my daughter with me. And then she then had to mingle with her niece and nephew and everything. And in 1 month, lovely girl's accent, because she was there for like a month, almost 2. Her accent has changed. She's very,
with children.
Yeah, children. And
especially when they're sharp.
Yeah, and that was beautiful for me, And I had to close my eyes and make sure she went to this school, even though the school fees is like 4 or 5 times more than the previous one that she was at. But I saw the value in that. And I think a lot of us have been deprived of the ability to ask questions if we don't understand, and memorize. And unfortunately, the consequence of that is we accept the status quo. It's engraved in us. We accept the status quo. We don't ask questions. And when you add, I read a book some time ago, and I think it was either an article, and it says, integrity is a luxury for somebody who is hungry. It's a luxury for somebody who's surviving. You cannot tell somebody who has not eaten for 10 days not to steal if he's starving to the point that he's about to die. So integrity goes out the window. So when you have an economy where over 90% are living, we keep hearing the top 1%. And the reason why we keep saying the top 1% is because it's no 1%. Yeah. Do you get my point? So when you have 99 point something percent of the entire country trying to make ends meet, can't live a comfortable life, you can now start talking about value systems and principles and all these things. And if you can't do that, who are our teachers? Somebody taught them, and they're teaching the same thing to us. And when you're now in an environment where we are not taught to think, to be solution providers, but we are taught, let me say this, and I'm sorry if what I'm saying is going to offend a lot of Nigerians. I have come to the conclusion that the easiest thing to sell to us Nigerians is hope. It is the fastest and easiest way to exploit Nigerians. And why? Hope doesn't require you to think. Hope requires you to pray and fast. Hope requires you to believe in promises. Hence why I will say a big amen to you receive double portion before the end of this year, or triple portion before the end of this year, or you would experience unparalleled favor before the end of this year, compared to we are facing economic hardship. If the subsidy wasn't removed, we will have been bankrupt. Now we all have to go through long suffering, delayed gratification for a prosperous Nigeria. We are not trained for that. We're trained to blink, and God has answered our prayers. Hope is the biggest scam, which I believe have infected a vast majority of us Nigerians. Now, I'm not relating this to anything in particular. I'm talking about a mindset. Now, that mindset has turned us into probably the most corrupt nation in the world. Corruption is an endemic in Nigeria. And I'm not talking about the government. I'm talking about the people. And what do I mean by that? Something as easy as getting a job, praise God. You've cried for that job. You've begged for that job. You prayed for that job. You have gotten the job. You are now a cashier or you are a waiter. You are collecting your salary. You are happy you've gotten that job. But you have the audacity to bring your own POS to that person's business to tell the customer to pay to that POS. Now, the corruption is so widespread that there are some customers, just because the bill is 50K, they will tell you, don't worry, I'll make it 30K. They will now send that 30K to that account. I hope you see where I'm coming from.
Clearly.
So when we blame the government for corruption, the government is a reflection of who you are. We're not ruled by foreigners. Yeah? You are only reaping the rewards of your evil ways. And as a result of that, I'm getting in trouble, Abby.
Hopefully
So,
not.
as a result of that, what you sow, you will reap. We have been sowing. This is what we've been sowing. And so, you can't reap. If you plant apple, you can't expect oranges. You will reap what you sow. So, our educational system, I believe, is so warped. And it's not just we keep saying it's not school alone. It's family values. That's education. It's what the government is teaching us. That's education. It's what society, the village, it takes a village to raise somebody. That's education. And what we have been taught is that delayed gratification, seed time, harvest time, is for the weak. It is not your portion. Your own is to get it now. And we don't question the source of people's wealth because we're taught to cram. We don't question, we don't investigate. We just praise. And because we reward wealth that shows up from nowhere, it becomes perfectly okay. It becomes the standard, it becomes the norm. I'm trying to be very careful with what I'm saying. So when somebody, and I notice what I said about the mindset of instant gratification, and we don't want delayed gratification, and we are not thinking, we're not taught to think. And this is why, and I've given you an example of a normal person who is a waiter, this is their salary, and they're finding ways to steal from you. Yeah? I have personal experience, and I don't want to name names, of somebody thinking that I make too much money and I give them another company to run, and they decide to make a fortune out of that company, create different services to build that company and force that company to not make profit for years, just so that they can enjoy themselves. And when you finally question is, but you're making money here. This is reality. And so I've just given you an example of normal people in business. So when we enter politics, why do you expect Okoro or Peter or Kunle or whoever to finally sit on a 300 billion naira budget for the first time in his life? Does not have the ability to solve problems, to identify problems, identify issues and solve those problems. does not understand delayed gratification, only understands double portion, triple portion. God will make way where there seems to be no way. The hope, the gift of hope. And he thinks to himself that this 300, God has blessed me for this 300 billion. And because we don't have a solutions thinking mindset, a problem solving mindset, we have a singular mindset of me. I take that 300 billion and I make sure that it sorts me out, not just for my generation, but for generations to come. Because I've never understood how you can have a budget of 300 billion and instead of you to just take 10%, you take everything. I've never related to that. But when you understand the mindset of the average Nigerian, start with the average Nigerian. Yeah? And you understand how we think, what we have been taught, what we believe, then it makes sense that when I end up in a position and I see money I'm not supposed to be used for something, I believe God has blessed me. There is no thinking there. There is just entitlement. I hope it makes sense.
I actually agree with you.
Okay, because I
If
think
you-
I'm
if
in
you're in
trouble after saying
trouble,
this.
I will gladly jump into that trouble.
Okay.
Why did you return to this country?
A very like I've told a lot of people that it was heartbreak that brought me to Nigeria, brought me back to Nigeria. But to be quite honest with you, it was a combination of a lot of things. I never wanted to come back. 16 years, I've age 16 in the UK. I've gone through sixth form. I've gone through, I've worked a year. At the same time I was working a year, I forgot to tell you, I went to go to college as well, just took an extra course, went to university. I grew up with some amazing people. We finished university. I'm hustling, I'm trying to get a job. I have great friends I play poker with, and I kept that poker game going for years. The love of my life is in the UK. And my dad then has launched a business and he wants me to come and help him. Like, nah, I need to sort my life out, you know? And I didn't go and help him. And eventually, I think he had to take a loan, had to sell that business. That's a discussion for another day. And then he packed everything up and retired. But luckily for me, by the time he retired, God had started blessing me. So I made sure that my parents, I found out what my dad's salary was when he was working at WAMCO, and found out what my mom was on. And God had blessed me so much. I think I was paying about double that amount because I wanted my parents to live like they never retired, you know. So that was a good thing for me. One of the things that I'm very joyful of, and I'll never forget the day. I'm diversing quickly. I'll never forget the day. I think my dad was telling me of correcting me, and he said, "I have to be careful how I correct you now, because you are the one that's feeding us." And I said, "Daddy, I beg you in God's name. I am where I am because of you. Don't ever say you cannot correct me." I said, "If you like, carry belt, beat me now. Every month, I'll continue to make sure you're okay." You know, so that was a very emotional one for me. But let's go back to why I left. So, a friend of mine was doing something in Nigeria. He called me up and asked me to help. I did. And in doing that, what I did was seen by a major financial institution, and they wanted me to come and do digital transformation in Nigeria. So I came, did it, and I found myself coming back and forth in Nigeria. I thought I'm not coming without 24/7 lights, because at that point 24/7 light was not, what do you call it? So I was staying at Intercontinental Hotel for a year, and I started to experience. No, I didn't experience Nigeria, because all I would do is stay in that hotel, go to Marina, and come back. You know, that's all I would do. But as time went on, I started to explore. Friends started to talk to me and say, "Why are you staying in a hotel? That money you're spending in that hotel, you can save money and buy a house. And that's how I got my first house. Put a deposit down, 10 million, and then within a year, I believe it was a year and a half, I'd already paid it. My first property was in Osaka, London, 50 million naira, and I made that first 10 million. And Prestigious Home was one that sold that property to me today, Akitola. And that guy, and that's why I keep saying that I don't think it's just heartbreak, because that guy insulted me. May God give you people that will tell you to your face what you think is great and show you a better life. I was making £1 million a year in the UK in revenue. Well, after tax and everything, I was struggling to go home with 150, 200,000 pounds, and it just wasn't making sense to me. You can't see that much money as a Nigerian, and like 80% of it to 85% of it is gone
to the institution.
And then only that amount. That the Nigerian in me did not like that. The capitalist in me did not like that. So, and I knew that it wasn't sustainable as well. Because the general who knows the future cannot lose the war, but the general who creates the future has already won the war. So I always like to look into the future to identify where I am going to be, where the future is going, so I can align myself. And when I looked at my company, what I was doing there, and I looked at the future, I looked at AI, because I was running a tech company, I was running a training company, I was responsible for helping over 10,000 Nigerians secure jobs in Nigeria within the tech space. A lot of people in Nigeria, in the UK, a lot of people in the UK right now who are staying in their house today and loving the job that they are doing owe it to me. I was running Career Insights then. If people go on YouTube and type in DBT Awards, Delta Bravo Tango Awards, from 2018 to 2020, 2018, 2014 to 2018, you will see the thousands of people's lives have changed. And that was a good business. I was making very good money from it. I was very happy about it. But I wasn't happy about the tax man taking all of my money. So I now found out about, I started coming to Nigeria, as a result of that contract. And then I stayed in the hotel, obviously. And a year in the hotel, I realized that, hold on a second. And I think when I got my property, I didn't want to stay in a hotel. So the Akin gave me a shortlet to stay at. It was the worst shortlet I've ever experienced in my life. In fact, it wasn't called shortlet then, it was called a guest house or whatever it is. And I had to go and borrow microwave, I have to go and borrow this. And I was like, and I'm coming from a hotel lifestyle. I thought, you know what, when I get my place, I'm going to make sure it has 5-star hotel amenities. And so as soon as I got my place and I finished it, guess what happens? My contract ends. So now the property is useless to me. Whoa. But my friends are coming to Lagos, decide to stay with me. They're looking at my place and they're thinking, wow, this is amazing. So you see the look and feel of shortlets you see today. Yeah? They call me the godfather of shortlet because everybody started copying the same design. It has evolved, obviously. And in those days, you have what you call agents. And they will take your property at... they'll take your property. They'll tell you that they can give you 40K for it. They'll go and sell it at 80K, 90K. Who's paying the diesel? Do you hear my point? So now I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, my friends are staying in my place. They love it. They have their friends come and stay there in Lagos. They're like, wow, this place is amazing. As soon as they leave, guess who calls to book it? Their friends in Lagos. Oh. And they stay there a week. That was where domestic vacation rental was born. Then COVID hit. And people couldn't stay in hotels. And people were stuck. So they were looking for a place that was a home away from home. And then the market was born. I created shortlet homes. I bought more properties. My friends bought more properties. We were making £30,000 a year. Sometimes £40,000 a year. Before that 2020, before that COVID, because we had already acquired a lot of properties. And it was beautiful. That was when the real estate market in Nigeria boomed. And every developer started selling shortlets. In fact, most developers will tell you, this is your rental income. And my friends blame me. They think that it is me that exposed this market to the whole of Nigeria. that if I hadn't done that, that the market would still be good because it's saturated now. It was a trade-off because from the telling everybody about it, I was able to raise billions of naira to build Giwa Gardens. I was able to raise billions of naira to start Canelia, and I was able to raise. So it was a trade-off for me, and I don't regret it. The market was going to die anyway. Sorry to anybody that's offended by that. Yeah, but the truth of the matter is that it's going to die, but it's also evolving. And like I said, the general that knows the future cannot lose the war. The general that creates the future has already won the war. Same way I saw in the UK that AI was going to take away all of my training opportunities. And I realized that there was a limit to what I can do. 2020, I realized that I need to look to Nigeria because I'm seeing this opportunity coming in, and I'm seeing God forgive me, I'm seeing the benefit of doing business in Nigeria. Look, I'm going to say this, and I don't care if anybody gets angry in what I say, because the truth is the truth. Anybody doing business in Nigeria that doesn't think that politics is part and parcel of their success in doing business in Nigeria have no business doing business in Nigeria. A lot of people are angry that, you're supporting Tinubu, he's a traitor, he's a this. What do you want me to do? What exactly do you want me to do? You want me to, join you and point the finger at the very person that can snap a finger and everything I've worked hard for is gone? Are you going to feed me after that? Are you going to take care of my children? Are you going to send my children to private school? No. You can call me and I will willingly accept the phrase a sissy for identifying the policies that benefit my business and how politics would affect me positively or negatively, and put me in a position to identify opportunities I can capitalize on so that I create a sustainable and viable business that is profitable for myself and my investors. I never told anybody I was a charity. Neither did I tell anybody I was Jesus Christ. I personally think, and this is me being honest, while my dad, I'm 100% confident that that man is in heaven. When I pray at night and I talk to God, I tell my dad to please prepare a lawyer for me on my own day of judgment. Because 99.9% I've come to the acceptance that I'm going to hell if it exists. I have no doubt about that. Because there are things that I do that warrant hellfire. I just think that there's a different level of hell. For example, I cannot be in the same place that Hitler is. I need a lawyer for that. I hope it makes sense. Yeah, there's a limit to what. I don't know if you get where I'm coming from. One of my biggest sins, I like woman too much. I cannot be burning in eternal fire because I like woman too much. Do you understand? I didn't kill anybody. Yeah, even the woman that I like too much, I take care of every single one. So why should I burn in fire because of that? I need a lawyer for that. I hope it makes sense. Yeah. So now my method of thinking at this point in time will offend a lot of people that are extremely religious. Ekpele. Because at the end of the day, you are not the one that's going to judge me. It is Baba God, ba? Yeah? And I guarantee you, you see the person that's pointing finger at me, he'll be right next to me, behind me, on that judgment day, preparing for his own judgment. Do you get? So really and truly, I came to a conclusion that we are judged by our deeds. Love your God with all your heart and love your neighbor as yourself. That is a principle I live by. Now, by living by that principle, I build my business solely based on that as well. I will never invest in something I'm not willing to put my own money into. And that's why I can look my investor in the face, who has probably invested with me for the last 3-4 years and has not gotten any return. And I'll tell him, wait. wait. Why? Because my money is there as well. The only difference is you put money in, you can carry on with your life. I'm stuck because I have to make it work. There's both sweat equity and money. And if you insult me, I will insult you back. Why? Because part of what you paid me wasn't to disrespect me. And that's why a lot of people get offended, because there's an entitlement of, I gave you, how can he be talking to his vessels like that? No, I can talk to you in the same level of respect that you give me. And if you disrespect me, I will disrespect you back. Why? Because you gave me X amount of money doesn't mean you have a right to disrespect me. You know? And unfortunately, that has affected me in business. You know, some people will say, I don't want to do business with that guy. I don't want him to insult. I've had somebody send somebody to come and invest in my business. I was like, oh, can I meet that? No, I don't want to meet that guy. I like what he does, but I do not want that guy to insult me. So I've had situations like that, you know, and if we can, I've lost track. Bring me back. Help me to
we'll
bring
come
me back.
Don't worry, we'll come back.
So now, to me, I came to realization that, okay, I've built this shortlet business. It's doing very well. It is now COVID period, and everybody is staying in my properties. And people are even, because people couldn't go out, they couldn't do parties. So people are now having house parties in shortlets. So we've identified this huge opportunity. And I am telling everybody that they should buy more properties so that we can do more shortlets. And I'm now deciding to go into construction myself. And then somewhere along the line, 2020, at this point, I'm doing 9 months in the UK, 3 months in Nigeria. And in the process of that, I find out that I'm having a child. That's my first child in year 2020. And so my life changes. Actually, no, my life didn't change at that point. And I'm going to be honest and very direct. I wasn't expecting a child. I didn't plan for the child. So I blocked and deleted, you know, because I didn't ask you for it. Do you understand? And I had just come out of a relationship that broke me to pieces. And so I'm not ready for this. And that's why you have to respect Nigerians and their resourcefulness. And more importantly, you have to respect the Nigerian woman.
If you know what's good for you.
If you know what's good for you. How this lovely, amazing lady found my mother. Till today baffles me. My mother calls me up. Keji, Otifuyo Loyo out of wedlock. I don't know if it's mine. Don't worry about that. At this point, I'm 40-something. Which mother? My dad's late. I'm the only son. Which mother will not be excited? I'm like, Mommy is not my own. I don't know, baby. I said, okay.
Story.
Behind my back, my mother is looking after her, providing for her, taking care of her. I show up in Lagos in November. April was last time I came. And again came back in November. Remember, at this time I spent more time in the UK.
Yeah.
So I've been told that my child has been born, and I don't believe it's my child. And I hear that they are in my mom's house to do ikomo, to do naming. I'm like, I called the doctor, get me then let's go. So I eventually show up there, and you will never understand what a child does to you as a man. Now I've entered that place. I don't know, is that my child? As soon as I see that child, I see the mother holding the child. The doctor shows up with one long, big syringe that he wants. I kid you not. I said, don't do that. I was like, are you going to put that injection? No, don't do that. So we didn't take the DNA thing, because I just felt she's too small. I thought you were supposed to take the hair or something. I said, no, we do this is better. I said, no, I'm not interested. And that was it. I saw that child.
You knew.
I knew what?
You knew that child was yours, or you didn't? What was going through your mind?
Oh, she looks exactly like my mom, but I think it was more of a connection. So when you say I knew the child was mine, I don't know. I think I think for us men, there's no maternal instinct. I think it's more responsibility and accountability. And automatically, I think what kicks in for us men is I have to protect this child. This is my future now. This is the extension of the Giwa legacy. And so whether I knew whether she was my child or not, and I'm going somewhere with this, wasn't the issue at the point in time. It was, this child might be mine. And now I'm responsible for bringing another Giwa into this world. And a lot of things, I was overwhelmed by a lot of things. Now, I am not ashamed to say this. I was making decisions based on my capacity to take care of myself. When my daughter was born, I started making decisions on the next 4 generations. My risk-taking, my ability to take risk exploded. I'm buying properties and turning them to shortlets. I come from a computer science background. That's what I studied. Digital marketing, digital transformation. I'm a tech guy. Bloody good at marketing. I'm really good at creating products, digital products. I have no idea what construction is about. I do have an idea about running a business and identifying an opportunity in terms of the shortlet market. And my plan is to buy more properties and do more shortlet and basically take the business to become the largest shortlet brand in Nigeria. But I'm seeing this child and my ability to look into the future, my ability to identify what's going to work, what's not going to work. Everything is amplified. It's like a superpower, you know? And I see the death of shortlet in 2020. As soon as my daughter was born, and I held her in my hand. And because I'm now making decisions based on tomorrow and based on not her future alone, but her generation, next 2-3 generations. A man who does not leave an inheritance for his children's children is an imbecile. It's scriptural. That has always stayed with me. So all of a sudden, that's how I'm thinking. And so I'm thinking, what are the business decisions I can make? That even if halfway through I drop dead, generational wise, this child is sorted and her children are sorted. And this might mark the first of many children. And so I will never forget the day I'm sitting at Mayfair, one of my apartments, Mayfair Apartments in VI. And I see these customers come and they come and start swimming. And I sit down with them and it's a family. And they said, oh, and I asked them, oh, why are you here? And they said, oh, because normally it's what I have booking shortlet is not families. Do you get my point?
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow, so we need to get away from the hustle and bustle of Lagos, Monday to Friday. I just wanted to bring the family to VI, let them shop around, and then there's nothing to do in Nigeria. So just cooling off in the pool was okay. Nothing to do in Nigeria. Yeah, nothing to do for the kids.
True.
I Google. I was like, what? The business of children does not exist in Nigeria? Keji, if you're going to do this thing, you need to make sure the barrier to entry is near impossible. You need to make sure that technologically, financially, operationally, it's almost impossible for another person to jump into it so that you can monetize this thing for the next 50, 60, 100 years, as long as you focus on maintenance culture. And what is that thing? So I go and do my research. And I start with 2 companies. I start with Disney and the history of Disney and how they monetize. They basically found out that the key to the future was monetizing products for children as low as You know the Mickey Mouse we watch? When we grow up and become parents, what are we buying for our children? Mickey Mouse. The Spider-Man we grew up loving. When we grow up, what are we going to the cinema to watch? And taking the kids to watch the merchandise and all of that stuff. Disneyland. You now learn about the story of how the theme park, all those characters were now turned into a theme park. Basically, anything that brings thrills and excitement and memories and involves the family. There's a reason why all these cartoon movies, all these Disney music, those Pixar movies make 5 times, 6 times than normal movies. Why? Because while I will take myself, or just myself and my girlfriend to the movies, mom, dad, 2 kids, 2 for the price, are going to the cinema. And after that, they're buying merchandise. After that, they're buying this. They do partnership with McDonald's. They do partnership with all these burger and all these things. And they're making billions. And I looked at Nigeria and I said, hey, it's not in existence. Let's go and build a water park. Now, who got me that land? Take a guess. Where the water park is. Who got me the land? Take a guess.
Water park.
Yes, Giwa Gardens, my water park. My dad.
Otio.
Yeah.
I was scanning through the names of politicians.
Now,
in my head.
I can comfortably say this, and I will say this with a full chest. I have never been bankrolled. I have raised the value of our portfolio in terms of cost is 42 billion naira. In terms of valuation is around 95 billion naira. And I can comfortably say this right now. Let the EFCC, anybody come and investigate. I have never been bankrolled by any godfather, by any politician. In fact, the politicians stay away from me. From what I hear, it's not all right. You know? So I can never, unfortunately, be within that political. Do I engage politicians to identify policies that can help my business? That can, and to build relationships like with Lagos State tourism and stuff? Yes, I do. But am I getting somebody giving me X amount? They stay away from me. And I think it's because who the heck likes a loudmouth? And who the heck likes somebody who says it as it is? And this guy, he doesn't look as if he can bend like this, so, you know? And the truth of the matter, is, I will say it again, I'm a CC. I don't like prison, no. I will talk. So I would rather... I will point to the person because why? It doesn't... So I would rather honestly build my name, build my business, and not have to worry about somebody knocking on my door and somebody bundling me to prison. I hope you understand. Clean heart. So people ask me, KJ, how do you sleep at night with all these investors' money that you have taken to build all these things? And to be honest with you, go and Google my name, Keji Giwa. There are a few investors that are angry that they've not gotten their money back. And people tell me that, oh, I should be nice and polite. Polite about what? You have gone to go and destroy my name online because you can't get your money from me, and I should be polite to you for what? Did I steal your money? How do you sleep well at night? Very well. I go to bed, I dream, and I wake up, and I continue my work, and I go to bed, I dream. I don't have heart palpitations. Does that mean I'm heartless? No. Every single money that has been given to me, I can point to where it is. And by the time you do your valuation, you see that plenty of my own money is in it, if not more. And when you look at the valuation of what we have invested in, is more than double what it was. What we haven't gotten to is a point of liquidation of 100% capital. And it's understandable. Water park takes 7 years to be profitable. Oh yeah, but KG, you promised us that we were going to get it. What am I supposed to tell you? No, the business is going to fail. I will give you projections. And I will tell you that we should do well by this time and that time. But I'm sorry I didn't know about the Niger factor.
The Tesla investors waited forever for
Yeah.
the first Tesla.
Which is understandable. Amazon waited 10 years. But unfortunately, let me be honest with you, that water park it's a very successful. We made 1.1 billion in the first year. Yeah. Now I can throw this out there. Why? Because it's in the papers. I pay my taxes. So it's in the tax record. I pay my taxes. And the second year, roughly the same. My council saw that. Well, they'll confirm that. So we are making money, but our cost of running is not a joke, and it's okay. It's our first 2 years. But guess what? We're still paying 10% return. So if somebody comes and tells me that, I just want my money back, you've tied my money down for too long. We raised money 2021. We built 2022 to 2023. You're not expected to collect a dime around that time. We opened 2024. Bearing in mind we were shut down because there was an incident, and we spent 500 million to get back up, and the reputation of building that was a different ballgame entirely. Then 2024 we paid off debt. 2025 we paid 10% return. That's a pretty good business for water park. Lekki Party Villa, the 6 villas we have, same thing, 10% return. Canelian, the land that we bought for 800 million naira. Now that land is worth 5 billion naira. We're building 86 units. The guys that bought their unit at $100,000 is now $480,000. The guys that bought their 3-bed at $150,000 is now $750,000. On completion, will be at least 1 point something million, because it's overlooking Eko Atlantic City, 4 minutes from into Eko Atlantic City. So by proxy, accessibility and connectivity by proxy. And also your target audience, your oceanfront customers, unfortunately, are not going to be your average Nigerians. They're going to be your diplomats. They're going to be your Nigerians in diaspora, and they'll be happy to pay in dollars. So we've built a huge portfolio that we can be proud of, the largest water park in West Africa. So unfortunately, I will not be comfortable if somebody calls me a scam. I think yesterday somebody posted something saying that I think he did say something about a scam, and I just
Is that the lady in the US?
Yeah. Well, no, that one's different. That one is press.
No. Yeah.
That one is press. Put something in the. This was on my page yesterday. Put something. I think she has said something about something to do with 419 or it said zero integrity, and I clicked on his profile page. Yeah, because I may be combative in that respect. I clicked on his profile page. As soon as some people saw that, then I'm a stubborn goat. Everybody says that, and my people, my board members are already Keji don't reply. Keji don't reply. Call him. Don't engage. Maybe I'm going wrong. Do you get my point? I don't listen. I'm already. I just clicked on the guy's page. Guess the first 2 pictures I see, him at the water park. Guess the second picture I see, him and friends at the water park. I read the caption. He's selling tickets. He's a reseller. So I'm like, Benny, what on earth is going on? And so I said, it is not possible that you are a stakeholder and an investor and you are bad-mouthing your own business that you own. Is not possible. And that tomorrow I'm going to create content and put your picture there. So you have to appreciate that brings me back to what I was trying to say to you earlier. We don't understand delayed gratification. We don't understand long suffering, which is part of love. We don't understand seed time, harvest time. We understand hope, which is not a strategy. We want to be promised the world. We have been. Why do you think pyramid schemes are such a successful? Let me tell you a secret. Are you aware that 99% of Nigerians that do this pyramid scheme know it's a scam?
From the get-go.
Yes, they know it's a scam. Their own
At least I assume it's a scam, because it will always get to a point of saturation.
I'm telling you that there are people that know it is a scam. They've come to the strategy of, let me be among the first. Let me get paid. Why? Because we have accepted corruption as the norm. It's very fabric of, I tell you, it's an endemic. It's very fabric of who we are. And that is why, like, I will never forget the period where I think it was Yahoo Boys in my properties a while back. And they used to pack the nice cars, with no plate numbers. And EFCC came and raided my entire estate. And innocent people were being scared, parents and everything. So I came out and said, stop this. I will show you where these Yahoo Boys live, one by one. This one is family people. Please leave them alone. But you see that one over there? You see those cars with no plate? They are there. They are there. They are there. Then I went online and I said, you Yahoo Boys better stay away from my properties because you're bringing a bad name to me. Hey, I thought I was doing a good thing. I thought Nigerians would praise me and say, this is a good citizen. I became public enemy number 1. If you read the comments, traitor, this, that. I didn't know that you don't report Yahoo Boys.
You have made your own money. You want to...
Yeah, you have made your own money. You want to come and...
From fraudulently...
If you see how my staff were threatening left, right, and center, apparently they were looking for me to go. My friends had to come and say, that's our guy. Don't touch that guy. Hey! So that was where I had to retract and adjust. I hope you understand where I'm coming from.
Totally.
So, unfortunately, our mindset, we need a recalibration. We need a renewing of our mind. We keep hearing this in church every time. Renew your mind, renew your mind. It's going in here, coming out there. We need a renewal of our mind because our expectation is instant gratification. And that is why we don't understand, and I'll come back to the current policies of the government. Me, I thrive in chaos. I pray, and this is going to get controversial, but please follow me here. Whether Nigeria gets better or doesn't get better, I'm perfectly okay. In fact, I'm banking on it not getting better. Your prayer is different from my prayer. If you say, may God make Nigeria, if you say, may God give, let me look at something that is, I'm trying to find something so I don't say something I'm not supposed to say. Basically, let me just rephrase this. You can be praying for something, and you'll be saying in Jesus' name, and I'll say, I reject it in Jesus' name. You can be saying, Inshallah, yeah, and I can reject that. Why? Because the truth of the matter is one man's food is another man's poison. I thrive in the chaos, in the disaster. I thrive in Nigeria not getting better. I thrive in everything that is wrong with Nigeria. It is in my interest for things not to get better. So at this point in time, I'm public enemy number 1 to the average Nigerian. But follow me here. Nothing made me happier the day Dubai banned visas and Qatar banned visas for Nigerians. I even went and prayed and fasted that it remains permanent. Now you would ask me why, right?
I have an idea.
If you can't travel out for leisure, if you can't travel carry your family out for leisure, and Dubai is where we're all going, yeah? Sure, you will not look within for something to do with your family.
Somebody who can create Dubai lights or something.
Thank you. So, I now take my team to Dubai. I tell them to record the water park in Dubai. I paid about 3-point-something million naira for their tickets. 2-point-something million naira each for their tickets. There were 2 of them. So about almost 5 million naira. Their hotel was almost the same 5 million naira. That's about 10 million naira. 2 people. Then the tickets to the water park in Dubai, I don't remember the name now, was 375k minus food per person. So Then they had to eat and everything. But I think we spent roughly around almost 11 point something million naira for two people.
Roughly 12.
Yeah, roughly 12 million. And I recorded a video. And then I recorded Giwa Gardens. I went to Abuja Sunrise Water Park. I recorded that one as well. And I said, we have our own Dubai in Nigeria, built for families. Why spend 10 million naira or more for a family of 5 when ticket is as low as 25k and you can drive and enjoy yourself? Recreational experiences for family without the hassle of the flight ticket, without the hassle of the hotel, without the hassle of the visa. And I promoted that all around 2024. Worked closely with Lagos State Tourism. In Time Out magazine, Lagos was the 50th, I think the 40-something or 50th cities to visit. And if you go and see it, Giwa Gardens was mentioned. CNBC mentioned us. And we became the recreational and family tourism experience, both domestically and internationally, in Nigeria. All of a sudden, every Nigerian that was coming to Nigeria wanted to go to Giwa Gardens. And as they went and they were doing their videos, they were sharing it. And people were saying it was amazing, it's the best experience ever. So when I now find out that, because Dubai banned before, then Qatar now joined, I was the happiest man on earth. Why? Because that is a huge percentage of the tourism market that I can now have. And I have a competitive advantage in that respect. So why would I pray that Dubai should leave the visa? As you are praying that prayer, I'm rejecting it because it makes my business more successful.
If the community is praying that there be no more deaths in their community, the casket maker will not say amen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. No, but that's the reality. Let me explain something to you that will probably shock you. And this is the truth. And we have evidence of it in the Western world. The day Nigeria becomes prosperous and there's distribution of income, churches would be dead. %100. And we have enough case study of it in the UK, in the US, in all over Europe. The moment the UK decided that they will have even distribution of income, they will have free healthcare, they will have free accommodation. The moment 90-something% of people's problems were taken away, people didn't need to pray as much anymore. What are we praying for most times here? We're praying for security. Do you get my point?
Yeah.
We're praying for, I'll give you an example. I cycle a lot. When I offended somebody, I stopped cycling, no? There was somebody I've offended. Yeah? And then somebody just said out of gesture that, oh, do you remember so and so was cycling and then the car hit them and it was most likely blah, 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 blah. He just hit me. That, this person I've offended. What if they... So I stopped cycling. Do you get?
Yeah.
Now, when I now started cycling again, guess what I did before I went to cycle?
You had to make up.
No, I went on my knees. I started praying. I've never been more prayerful. It was when I came to Nigeria that I understood prayer. I didn't pray in the UK. I don't pray. Pray for what? What am I praying for? Most of the time, I'm solving problems myself. What I do is I'm in gratitude to God. And I ask God for direction. It is in Nigeria that I pray. And you see in business, you must have your marketing strategy. You must have your technological strategy. You must have your sales strategy. You must have your operational strategy. Yeah? You know what you must also have? You must have your spiritual strategy. Now, it sounds like a joke. Jazz exists in Nigeria. You will never hear me say that, ever. Do you get? But you see, when things are not normal, and it doesn't make sense that it's not normal, you have no choice than to pray. I hope you understand. Now, when you now start being extremely prayerful over things that are simple common sense, it becomes an addiction because it now becomes the easiest thing to do rather than thinking your way out of the problem. I don't. I hope you're with me.
Totally
So,
understand.
to me, I've come to the realization that it's not necessarily a situation of we can just get by. We can just hope that things get better. We have to be intentional. We have to be deliberate, and we have to identify the factors, the culture, the mindset that drives the essence of everything that we do, our business. And unfortunately, you will now come to the realization that you must, because of the lack of certain infrastructure, certain benefits that will put you in a position where you don't have to worry about what you have to pray for certain things. We become extremely prayerful for those things. And that is because those things are not they're not basic amenities, basic normal things for us. If I fall sick right now in Nigeria, my heart is pounding. The one thing I always tell people, the one thing I don't ever want to happen to me in Nigeria is to get into an accident, a car accident, where I need blood transfusion or need to rush to the hospital. It's a prayer. Do you understand why now we're very prayerful? The next thing is I don't want to so that one is one. Yeah. The next thing you don't want is a situation where you I've seen my dad, how he died. He was on his way to the UK as yearly thing he celebrates with us. Next thing I know, we've spoken, he's on his way. Next thing I know, he's not at the airport. What's going on? Yeah, they take a while to call me. When they finally call me, my dad's dead. What happened? Food poisoning.
Whoa.
Yeah, taken to the hospital. On that day, he was taken to the hospital. It was a Sunday. He shouldn't be dead. It's ordinary food poisoning. But do you know why he died?
Tell me.
Take a guess. All the
that's
qualified doctors were in
nobody.
church
Oh, good Lord.
on a Sunday.
That's not funny.
That's why you will never find me in a church in Nigeria. Because that definitely breaks me all the time. Not one qualified doctor on a Sunday, because this set of people felt the need to go and worship God on the day when there should have been one qualified doctor on duty. Now, you want to tell me that when that man gets on his knees and prays to God, whoever was supposed to be on duty on that day gets on his knees and prays to God, God is going to say, yeah, well done, mate. Well done for coming to church instead of being at work. You get my point?
I get you.
Yeah? I have no issue with religion. Yeah? I have an issue with responsibility. I have an issue with accountability. I have an issue with us using hope to exploit Nigerians. And I have an issue with us not thinking for a change. I don't know if you're with me.
I totally understand.
Yeah? So, when I look at how my dad died, which is the most painful experience ever. Why? Because that's the moment, that was the period when me and my dad were getting close. I spent most part of my life hating this man. Grown up.
Take your time. Take your time.
Okay. Sorry. Sorry. So, grown up, understanding and accepting what he was trying to teach me, made a complete success out of myself based on the integrity he taught me. And finally, he's extremely proud. We launched the awards night where thousands of people celebrated him the year before he died. And he was coming back again to the next award. And yeah, he just didn't make it. 67, I think, 68, 67. Healthy man, absolutely nothing wrong. And yeah, so forgive me if I get very angry when I see huge. Thank you very much. Forgive me if I get very angry when I see forgive me when I get very angry when I see huge buildings that can sit 10, 20,000 people, but I don't see factories that give thousands of people jobs. I don't see data center. I see us selling hope, but not selling solutions. And one thing I have as a general rule in my company, if you make mistakes, if you make the mistake of saying, God will provide, I'll sack you instantly. Now, does that mean I don't believe in God? No, 110% I believe in God. Yeah, I believe in God. Either way, religion is man's way of getting close to God. So everyone is justified. Christianity, Muslims, all justified. What I will not tolerate is the some he gave 2 talents, some he gave 5 talents, some he gave 10 talents, each according to their own ability. The one that took his talent and hid it, even what he had was taken away from him. But the one that put his talent to work received more. Yeah? Faith without works is dead. So don't come and tell me God will provide or God will without you coming up with your brain, thinking up a solution. Then say, let God bless the works of our hand. Let God direct our path. I hope you're with me. So yeah, I get extremely testy. I get extremely angry and offended, and it has helped me in my company. It's helped my employees. I mean, one of the consequences of really empowering and changing the mindset of my employees is that they leave and japa. Most of them, you can't blame them. But here's why I say that they should cancel all visas. Now, when I said that, every Nigerian got angry, and I still stand by it. I stand by it 110%. And why? It's you can't keep leaving the farm and expect that you will come to harvest. It's not possible. So yeah, let's all go to the greener pastures. I've done it, right? We all go to the greener pastures, but we should stop complaining about a terrible Nigeria. I find it very disrespectful and insulting when Nigerians in diaspora say that Nigeria is corrupt, Nigeria is this, the government is this. No, shut your mouth. If you have a problem, come home and do something about it. If you can't, stay where you are. So I think it's a blessing that the rest of the world are starting to have a nationalist mindset. And they are saying, out with the immigrants. We too should have a nationalist mindset, make our own better. And we too should say, out with the immigrants. You have South Africa over there. What they're doing is wrong. It doesn't make any sense. But they love the country so much that even if what they're doing is wrong, you can see the patriotic side of it. So where is our own patriotism for our own country? And I personally believe that if we have nowhere else to go, we'll be forced to either settle for less or demand
More.
more. And if today all Nigerians in diaspora wake up and they find themselves deported with all that knowledge, with all that wisdom,
Exposure.
with all that exposure, with all that experience, yeah, it'll be hard, but give us 10 years, we'll be somewhere else. It's worked everywhere else. It has worked everywhere else. So I agree with us waking up one day and realize that our ability to leave the country is now impossible. I agree with us realizing that we cannot leave and hold our own government to account because this is our home. And I believe that we wake up one day and realize that Rome wasn't built in a day, and we're just going to have to stick it through. We're going to have to go through the hard times and make it work. So when people ask me, what do I see in the current government that makes me support them? Nobody's paying me any money. I'm not getting a dime from anybody. Like I said, politically, I don't think I have a career because I just don't fit in. But I see the policies that work for me and my business. And I see a future that is very bright. While people point at a Nigeria that is not working, I look at what Nigeria can be. And I invest in what that Nigeria can be. And what do I mean by that? Even though the data is disastrous, in it lies the opportunities. Now, explain. Let me explain. We say that the vast majority of Nigerians are living in poverty. That's fantastic news to me, because that means that there are a huge amount of opportunities available and projects that can be embarked on to lift Nigerians out of poverty. That's a huge business opportunity right there. And we should be working with the government to come up with initiatives that enables us to do that. We say we have a housing deficit in Nigeria. That a lot of people cannot afford places to live in Lagos. I think Lagos should become extremely unaffordable. I think rent in Lekki, for example, should be like 40 million naira for a 4-bedroom. God forgive me, I'm already collecting that. But I think it should be like that. Why? Why do you have to live in Lekki? Affordable home requires affordable land. You can't expect me to buy land at a very expensive amount and come and build affordable home on it. The coastal road has been done. Worst case scenario, it will take you 30 minutes, 45 minutes from wherever you're coming from around that area. Let the government provide developers like me with land, give us the land, and we will build affordable homes there. Let the government provide a mortgage system in which we have it guaranteed and backed by the government. So government-backed mortgage or government-backed loan. And then let the average Nigerian who has a job and can prove that he can pay his mortgage be able to buy a house in this location, and because through the coastal road can drive down to work and go back. Let the super rich stay where they are. So it is in my interest for Lagos to be unaffordable. The way I'm thinking is very different from how another person would think. So a lot of times, because we are surface dwellers, we don't deep dive, we don't deep think. We hear something, boom, and we assume that guy is mad. No, I'm not mad. I believe that every single visa application in terms of jackpot should be denied. And I have my reasons for saying that. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't travel. I think you should be able to travel. I think you should be able to study. But as soon as you're done, get back to Nigeria. There should be a limitation on that. Why? Because once you're forced Now, I have clear evidence of when this happened and Nigeria prospered. A lot of people don't know about that period, but I was around then. 2014, 15, 16, 17, fintech. Do you know what happened around that time? Once again, people forget that there was a time around that time where everybody had to return back from the UK because the British people, they refused to renew the visa. And what did they bring? Their skill set. All of a sudden, what did we have opening all around? We had tech hubs opening all around. The exposure we had gotten, the places we had walked, we were able to tap in here. Or Andela, I think there was Andela. All these places came up and they had the fintech. How do you think it happened? How do you think I got here? How did I come here? You think so? I'm talking from a place of experience. I'm not just talking and I've not done it. I've done it. I've left everything in the UK. I was making £1 million. My profit was around £200,000. I had to make a decision to let that thing go and come and invest in Nigeria. So I put my money where my mouth is. I now spend 9 months to 10 months in Nigeria compared to UK. And guess what? If I had stayed in the UK, like a lot of my friends now, that their salaries have been halved in the UK. Some of them will never finish paying their mortgage. That house that they bought before, years ago, they've had to remortgage because the economy is not smiling. Nobody is guaranteed old age and nobody is guaranteed sustainable wealth. Anything can happen at any point in time. A lot of people in the UK right now, in 20 years' time, in fact, 20 years is too much, in 10 years' time, when they are looking towards retirement, will have zero savings, zero pension, and they won't have paid off their house. It will look as if they shouldn't have left Nigeria in the first place. But do you know what's going to happen to those people? When Nigerians in diaspora who have failed to invest in Nigeria visit Nigeria, for now let's use Lagos, Abuja, in 2 or 3 years' time, they won't be able to live in what we call prime locations. Why? Because as bad as things may be right now, we are experiencing the birth pain of a prosperous Nigeria. And I can tell you that firsthand. What do I mean by that? This morning I got a call. Somebody's looking for a 2-bedroom in VI. $500,000 to $700,000 is their budget. Why? If you like, stay in the US, stay in the UK. See, there are some smarter other foreigners, diplomats, expats that are making a fortune in Nigeria. I was sitting down next to a lady yesterday, Chinese lady. She was on a call to at least 20, 30 farmers. When you go get that rice, speaking our pidgin English, when you go get that rice ready, I need this bag. I'm coordinating the whole thing and getting them to send it to the port. You would have seen a huge influx of foreign nationals in Ikoyi now, in VI now. You see tons of high-rises jumping all around. What do you think is going on? Yes, things are hard. It is expected to be hard once you've removed the subsidy. Do I hope that the money is distributed well and we focus on infrastructure and all the things that can develop Nigeria? I do. I really do. But one thing is for sure, if that subsidy wasn't removed and certain policies were not made, we'll be bankrupt. Nigerians should go and read. Nigerians should read. They should read. They should try it for a change. Stop listening to social media and what social media is saying. Go and do your research. My land that I bought for 800 million is worth 5 billion now. Do you know why it's worth 5 billion? Take a guess. The very thing that we hate about Nigeria is why my land is worth 5 billion. Guess why?
Yeah. amongst everything, depending on your location.
No.
Okay, amongst everything, I'm thinking currency, petroleum subsidy. There is a Dangote refinery. I'm thinking somewhere in that triangle.
No.
There's an answer there.
No. Speculation. Speculation. Promise of tomorrow. The coastal road is coming there. Sorry. The coastal road is coming there. The coastal road is done. We are 4 minutes away from Eco Atlantic City. Oh, by the way, they are selling property in Eco Atlantic City for $700,000 now. Land is now $2,000 per square meter, and it's 4 minutes away. This place. Let us make it 2 million naira per square meter, Jerry. Speculation. People are becoming billionaires in Nigeria based on that. Is it a bad thing? Yeah, it's a bad thing. It's making a heck of a lot of money. Nigeria is the one country you can blink. Nigeria rewards courage, not intelligence. There are too many intelligent poor people in Nigeria. Nigeria rewards courage. Now that courage could be corruption. Somebody brave enough to steal X amount of money and willing to negotiate how much is given back to the AFCC, Or it could be identifying opportunities that nobody else can see and jumping on it, taking the bold risk to jump on it. Now, why am I saying this? To God who made me, that land, it was the most stupid decision I ever did to buy that land. I'm telling you right now, it could have gone south. When I bought that land, the ocean was coming to half of the land without protection. But I've done my research and they said that the coastal road is coming there and they are going to extend the wall and everything. But when? It's a risk, right? But I bought it. And lucky me, it all happened. Now speculation has made that place worth a fortune. Now if you go further, 14 minutes down the coastal road, more around the Osapa area, there is Mayogun Estate. Guess how much land is there for? 2 million naira per square meter. Which means that if it was my 2,400 square meters, that is 2,400 times 2 million naira. So that's already, this is 40 minutes away at almost 5 billion naira. So how much would this one be? Which is this. Do you see? Speculation. So what makes Nigeria bad also makes Nigeria great. I hope you understand where I'm coming from.
I get you. It's to find... So there's something in it.
Yes.
And let me play the devil's advocate here. So, this property, everything does well. People who can afford it will live there. But they will also need the services of people who don't dare, everything from drivers to security to house helps, cleaners, and all of this. And
that creates jobs.
Yeah, it creates jobs. But some might also say, man, how about affordability for them? How much
they can
are they going
travel.
to be paid?
They can travel for. You know Abuja, right?
Yes.
Do you know that people travel from Nasarawa to Maitama to work because of the accessibility?
Yeah, true.
Connectivity.
Most people live in the outskirts.
Yes.
Like, Niger State.
And they're not complaining.
Zuba and all those places.
Yeah. So we do the same thing.
But then transportation then becomes a thing.
What is difficult about that?
Affordability.
That can easily be provided. That's another business opportunity. That's another opportunity. That's why I keep telling you that anybody who is in business that's not working with the government is not serious about doing business in Nigeria. We are so ripe right now to create the next trillionaires. I'm talking about billionaires now. To create the next trillionaires if we can choose to start thinking. rather than hoping. We're hoping that the next president will be better. No. Look at what this president is doing now and identify how it can work for you now. It's very important because a lot of people don't do you know Shongotedu?
Yes.
That's where my water park is. Land there was 37,000 naira per square meter as of 2 years ago. Take a guess how much land is just because that coastal road links directly to it now. And somebody has decided to increase it by 10,000 naira every. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you the power of speculation. And I'm going to say this right now. In fact, right now I'm going to double the value of land in Shongotedu in front of everybody right now. They are selling land in that area right now for 200,000 naira per square meter. It used to be 37,000 naira per square meter. Now it's 200,000 naira per square meter. I hope you're with me.
Mm-hmm.
However, I can make a very clear prediction that by next year, if the place is not going for 500 to 700 thousand naira per square meter, I'll be shocked. What have I planted in your head? 500,000 naira per square meter.
I'm telling you.
One agent is going to hear this right now, and they're going to say, Keji Giwa said, because of who Keji Giwa is, that this land will be 500 to 700,000 naira per square meter. And by the way, Keji Giwa's water park, which is the largest water park in West Africa, is in Shogotedo and is 4 minutes from the coastal road, which means that you'll be attracting both international community, tourism, and also domestic tourism, and you have access to coastal road, which means you get to city in 20 minutes, and you also have the leisure over there. So everybody should start buying in Shongotedo now. And I kid you not, before the end of this year will shock you. Go and check that land I just called for 200k will probably be 300, 350 at the end of this year, just based on this postcard we just done. The beauty of speculation, driven by accessibility and connectivity within proximity, driven by population density of your target audience, driven by mixed use, even ratio of mixed use of business, commercial, and residential. These are indices that drive growth. But the only place this can happen is Nigeria. Nigeria is the only place you can wake up if you are thinking and times 3 of anything that you are doing, because the opportunity is there. You see where I'm coming from?
You know, I'm struggling to find the areas of disagreement with the things you're saying. I'm really, really struggling. And the way my mind is working, and people don't have to agree with everything you're saying. I mean, I don't have to. However, you leap out to me as being refreshingly blunt and brutally honest in a world that is riddled with hypocritical double speak. It is weird to see somebody who just says it as he sees it. Are you perfect? Do you have all the answers to world peace and all the problems? Not necessarily, but your conviction is pretty strong, the things you believe in. And I'm sitting down here wondering, why do people misunderstand you?
Because they don't want to know the truth. There's a difference between wanting to be told the truth. They don't want to know. It's very important. Because knowing will help you realize where you really are, what you really need to go do, and how far off. Nobody wants to feel like they are not where they ought to be. Nobody wants to wake up and realize that after everything I've done, it's all for nothing. But I've come to the realization that the first step to making change is to tear off that plaster. If the wound is decay, find out. That pain, we don't want that first pain. We don't want to know.
Understandable. Shocking at the same time. You're a billionaire.
No, I'm not.
Well,
I'm holding people's money.
there are people who will respectfully disagree. You're successful. You're a young, fine, handsome man. There is a soft core that you have, and all even though you are blunt and all of that, I see it broken down here when you know, when you reminisce about your father. I've seen you go soft, talking about your daughter.
Yeah.
You're 48. The last Wednesday of October, you will be 49. Yet here you are, single. You look like somebody who loves.
Yeah.
Why aren't you married?
I think I mentioned sometime on some other podcast. I think it was with Instablog. I'm a walking red flag, no me. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know.
I just saw a headline that who will marry
Yeah,
me?
who will marry me? So I think I'm cursed with a constantly overactive mind, and I think my IQ, unfortunately, is above. And this is not to put anybody in a particular box, but I have a problem. You know, if people find it hard to understand me, and I tend to see things way. I have a problem. I get I have to say this in a way that's not gonna have the whole Nigeria attack me. I have very little tolerance and patience for waiting for people to catch up. So imagine me spending the rest of my life with somebody that is 100 cues back, and I'm ready to take the next 100 steps. And I don't believe in hurting people. So I'd rather let you be. Now, there's an assumption that loneliness is a problem. I actually think that having to spend the rest of your life with somebody that you can't stand, or somebody that can't stand you, or somebody you don't get along with, is the most lonely thing in this world. So I enjoy my own company. It's weird, but I really love me. Now, call it selfish. If you don't appreciate yourself, you depreciate. I love my own company. I love my own time. Do you know that it's really bad? I can, as people have seen it and they think I need medical help, I can crack a joke. If you don't find it funny, because I find it funny, I can be laughing for the next 30 minutes. And I'll be like, I can't believe you don't find that funny. And my friends know that. Now, I've also come to have friends that have accepted me for me. And I go on holiday with them. They're all married. I go on holiday with them and their kids, because they've come to appreciate me for me and accepted me as I am. So, do I want to get married? Oh, yeah, 110%. I would love to. Am I dreading it? Yes, I am. I'll be honest with you. But on what condition would I do it? I'll do it on the condition that I don't believe in love, unfortunately. Yeah, I think it's an emotional feeling. Yeah, and it fades. I'll do it on the condition that I am duty bound, I am accountable, I am responsible for you, and I'm willing to put my life my life on the line for you, because together we're building an empire that would set our children and our children's children up for life. So to me, marriage is not about emotions. Marriage is succession. Marriage is continuity. Marriage is legacy. Back to exactly what it was in the first place, back in the days. So I will most likely get married this year. I'll most likely get married next year, one of the two. And if I do, it will be because I found somebody that I can, if I drop dead tomorrow, they may not be as intelligent, and I won't use what they may not have the capacity to create like I do, but they will have the capacity to maintain and sustain.
In other words, they will complement you.
Exactly. So for me, marriage is continuity. I hope you make sense. So unfortunately, I can't get it wrong.
Makes sense.
I can't afford to get it wrong. Not at this stage.
Have you come close to marrying somebody before?
Yeah, plenty times. Either they run away or I run away. Yeah. It's expected. You know what I mean? But I'll have to be honest with you. Every single person that has almost come close to marry me is married now, you know, and they're very happy with their kids. I'm friends with some, you know, and at least one thing that one has, or a few have told me is, thank you very much for not wasting my time. You know, the bluntness that I have is the same way. Thank you for not wasting my time, and thank you for directing me. You know, rejection is direction. You know what I mean? So I'm quite happy in that respect. So, and yeah, would I, if somebody has asked me once that, oh, if you had the opportunity to marry them again now, knowing that they are such amazing person, would I marry them? No, you know why? Because I'll be depriving them of the man that they're supposed to marry.
Understandable.
Yeah, so
Understandable.
That is the cocoa. My wife, whoever I'll marry, we'll need to pray for her. You know, because it's not going to be easy. But it is what it is.
It's been such a refreshing pleasure talking to you.
Yes, thank you.
I'm just curious though. What did Akin say?
Oh,
that insult.
Oh, yes. I can be, yeah. Oh, it's a good one. That insult changed my life. He said, oh, UK guys, you UK guys, you think you're making money? You think you're making money? I said, yeah, I'm making £1 million a year, 200,000 pounds profit. He said, that's money to you. That was, you know when somebody says that to you, that's money to you. Come, let me show you. He will take me to all his developments. He will take me here, Say, let's do something together.
Light bulb moment.
The guy made a huge difference. Opened my eyes to possibilities. See, you're no more than 2 or 3 people away from the most important person you need to meet or talk to. At any point in time. Iron sharpens iron.
No doubt.
And at one point, he was angry with me for years. Now we are friends. But he was angry with me for years because God forgive me. I couldn't understand the electricity bill I was paying and the diesel and everything. So I gathered all the estates to vote them out as the facility manager. But you see, guess what? Now I understand. Because I'm doing the same thing. I hope you're with me. So may God position us. May God put us in a position where we are able to meet people that are able to take us to the next level of our life that we could never have done ourselves.
I hearty amen to that.
Amen.
Keji Giwa,
pleasure.
Fantastic guy.
Thank you.
You know, I know you will succeed. There's this
hope
thing
so.
you cannot have this mindset and not continue to succeed. I also have a strong feeling, you know, that your investors will make mad money. There's no doubt about it. It's an inevitability.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you so much.
You.
Appreciate it.
Don't change.
Yeah.
Just be straightforward and honest.
I will.
And brutal if you have to be, but fine.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.